Welcome back to the channel today, guys, and this is a Minecraft diamond sword made with cardboard. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you how you can make your very own DIY Minecraft diamond sword. I made this with household items, and everything including templates is going to be down below in the description, so you can find everything you need around your house for this, which is a great project, especially with the Minecraft movie happening right now. So if you guys are going to watch the film, or you're watching this years later, who knows, but this is still a really iconic thing that you can make from the series Minecraft. So yeah, let's get right into this video.
So the materials you're going to need is a Stanley cutting knife, a chopping board, a ruler, and masking tape, black paint and a paintbrush, and of course a hot glue gun and a glue stick. Now, you don't have a hot glue gun, that should be completely fine. You can always use some tape, but the hot glue gun will just be to put those pieces of cardboard together. On that topic, of course, you will need a couple cardboard boxes and a printer to print off the images, which we will stick onto the cardboard. Now let's get straight into this video. So first things first, I had to find a source image for this project. So I went on to Safari and I found a really good image here, and then I went onto a free image splitter website and cut this up into 5 segments. Of course, everything will be in the description, available for you to download completely free, so you won't have to worry about purchasing or going online for any templates. And then I printed each of these off at 200% onto my printer. Now, because this is a diamond sword, you're going to need to print 2 sets of these 5 sides, because obviously the sword is double-sided. So here you can see I've printed 2 sets of each piece of paper. And the next step, which is why we need the chopping board, funny enough, which you might be concerned about, well, why do we even need this? Just saves you from scratching your table or anything when you are slicing the images. Now, you can use scissors, but because the sword is actually made of a lot of blocks and it's quite pixelated, I'd recommend using your Stanley cutting knife and your ruler and just going in each edge and slowly cutting out the shape, just to make sure everything is very neat, very clean, and you don't get any chops or cuts that will ruin the final product. Now, the next step is quite simple. Basically just glue one side of the reference images onto a big piece of cardboard so we can get the shape going. Now, I did make a mistake by using PVA glue, and what the problem was is this actually was so thick that it ended up staining the cardboard, and also the paper was too thin. By the point when I'd stuck it on, there was tears and the paper started getting really moist because of how much the glue was wet, if that makes sense. So I'd recommend using a glue stick instead, which I quickly realized, because the glue stick isn't going to have as much moisture, which won't soak the paper. So that's just a word of warning. Go ahead and use a glue stick. I'd recommend steering clear of PVA glue. But let's get back into the video. So once I had traced out the images and stuck it onto the cardboard, I then traced out and cut with my Stanley knife to form that shape. And then I went and did this another 2 times. So we're basically building up the layers of the sword. I used 3 thin Amazon boxes, which just gave me a bit more thickness of the actual depth of the sword. So if you want to go ahead, I'd say use around 2 to 3 boxes, relatively thin cardboard, stick them on top of each other. If you have a hot glue gun, this is going to be the best way to do it, or you can use glue. It just might not be as strong because cardboard is a bit more of a rigid material. Now next, moving on, as you can tell, my PVA glue did ruin my images, so I had to go out and print them off again. So recommend again just to use a glue stick. You will save so much more time than I did. However, it wasn't a major issue because the next step is actually masking taping the edges. So if you haven't made your sword as far, I'd say just don't actually stick your reference images straight on there, or just be prepared to add another layer on top and reprint them off. But I'm masking taping the edges, and this is optional because masking tape just just allows for you to cover up all of that corrugated cardboard where you can see the like sort of messy bits of the cardboard. So completely optional once again. You can skip this step if you don't want to go off and have to reprint your images and stick them on again. However, I did put these masking tape around all of the edges, and then I used that black paint and painted over the masking tape. But if you aren't going to go for this approach and want to save some time, just apply the black paint onto the straight cardboard itself, and then you will be good to go. Now the next stage for me was just letting the paint dry, and I ended up applying the black paint over the whole actual sword just because I knew I had to reprint the images off anyways. And not only does this just look much better because it means that all of that cardboard is covered up, but it was just much easier so that when I stick the images on, there's no spaces that I've missed. And yeah, overall very happy with how it turned out. So after it did dry, I got a glue stick. I actually went and found one, and I had to just reprint those images and stick them over the top. Now the thing is, because these are in separate pieces, you'll just want to match them up beforehand to make sure you've got the right order, and then once you're happy, go ahead and use your glue stick just to glue each single piece of paper onto the sword. And this is sort of the final step, and as we can see, this is a very easy project. Of course, I was making this without watching any YouTube videos before, so I was sort of just swinging it, and that's why I made some mistakes. So if there's any word of advice I can give you guys, avoid that PVA glue as I mentioned before. But of course you can skip some steps as well. You don't have to use black paint, and you don't have to use masking tape at all if you are on a budget or time constraint. But as you can see, if you did want to just make this project and you have some time, you can go all in and just copy how I've done everything. And of course, you guys can use my free images and templates down in the description below. I will make sure to have everything available. And after all that, as we can see, this is the diamond sword in its fully finished state. And I'm gonna go off to watch the Minecraft movie in a couple days. Pretty happy with how this project turned out. It took me a couple hours, so I didn't have to spend too long in it as well. And if you guys are going ahead with this project, let me know in the comments, and even send me a DM on Instagram if you finish it and want to send a photo. I'd be more than happy to see what it looks like. Of course, if you want to hit that subscribe button, it does mean the world supporting this channel. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.